Hey guys, for today's project we're making a DIY copper jewelry stand. It's going to be made out of all copper pipe, which is readily available at most hardware stores. And the copper pipe's really easy to cut with just a small pipe cutting tool and also a little bit of glue. So I'll be using E6000. So it's a really simple project. It only takes a few items and it can make a really cool piece to help organize your jewelry and incorporate into your decor. And it just looks really cool sitting on top of your dresser or shelving or on your vanity. So let's go ahead and head out to the carport and we'll get started. For this project, we'll be using 1/2-inch copper pipe fittings. We have 6 copper tees, 4 copper elbows, 4 copper caps, a tape measure and pencil, and this is the pipe cutting tool. I'll also be using this 6-foot 1/2-inch copper pipe, and all of these items were purchased at the hardware store. We'll start with cutting our copper pipe. So right now I'm just measuring out the first cut, which is 2.5 inches, and you just tighten the pipe cutting tool around the pipe. It's almost like a wrench head, so you just tighten it up and then you make your first turn around the pipe, turn the handle about 1/4 of the way and make another turn, and you just keep repeating this motion. As you're making the cut, you want to check to make sure that your pipe cutting tool's blade is staying in that same groove and it's not sliding around or sliding out of place. So you don't want the tool too loose to where it's moving around too much on the pipe, but you also don't want it too tight where it's too difficult for you to turn. So you'll find that sweet spot as you go. Now I'm all done cutting my pipe, and I have 4 1.5-inch pieces, 1 2.5-inch piece, 3 3.5-inch pieces, 1 5-inch piece, and 4 5.5-inch pieces. I'm using some very fine sandpaper. This is 1500 grit to sand off the ink that's on the outside of the copper pipe because my regular copper cleaner doesn't get it off, which I usually use a combination of vinegar and sea salt to clean and brighten copper. That could be a separate video if you guys want to see that though. For the bottom of our jewelry display, we'll be using all 4 of our 1.5-inch pieces and 2 of our 3.5-inch pieces. And for the copper pipe fittings, we'll be using 3 of the tees and all 4 of our elbows. So we have our 2 3.5-inch pieces, our 4 1.5-inch pieces, and then our tees are going to connect together like this. And then our 4 elbows are the feet of the stand. For our center support, we have 2 5.5s, 1 2.5, and 2 tees. For the top T-bar, we're using 1 T and 2 5.5-inch pieces of pipe. For the middle bar, we're using a 5-inch pipe, and for the lower bar, we're using 3.5 inches. And now attach the copper caps to the open ends of pipe. And this project is easy to customize, so feel free to change up the design or the bars if you want to add or take away bars or change the size of it. And then once you're happy with your design, we're ready to glue. So I'm going to take some E6000, add that to the edge of my pipes, and then the fittings will slide right over the glue and set into place. And a toothpick can come in handy for removing any excess glue you might have. So the final dimensions are 17 inches tall by 12 inches wide at the very top bar. Alright guys, I'll let you go. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked this project. Definitely let me know if you did. And I've got a bunch more projects coming up, so keep on the lookout for those. I love you guys. Have an awesome week, and I'll see you soon.